Are you ready to dive into one of the most controversial issues facing schools today? The has sparked
The what? Sorry, one more time?
The
House Bill 1557, more commonly known as
the Don't Say Gay bill,
is 100% designed to be a sort of witch hunt.
The Florida State Legislature passed a law that directly impacts and harms young people, people under 18, people in the public school system. We're not able to vote, but that doesn't mean we aren't going to make our voices heard. Thousands of students across the state of Florida walked out of class to protest this law, whether it was because they saw the harm that it could do to their queer classmates or whether they would be directly affected like myself. It is written extraordinarily vaguely, and that leaves school districts to interpret the law however they see fit.
For those of you who may not be familiar, Law HB 1557 is a piece of legislature that aims to prohibit the discussion of homosexuality in public schools. So what does this mean for the students?
It takes away a child's right to privacy.
If they don't come from supportive homes and they're not out to their family, sometimes school is the only safe place for them to be out in.
A few weeks ago, I was dealing with a lot and I felt like I wanted to talk to an adult, so I went to our school's safe counselor, who let me know that because of House Bill 1557,
the administration is now obliged under these rules to out the students.
That puts a lot of kids, especially with parents who aren't necessarily supportive of mental health treatment, whether or not they're queer, in danger.
Essentially what the bill is trying to say is kids should be outed if they're gay or trans, that it's not their choice to decide what their future looks like. And the reality is that you don't get to choose your identity. You are born this way, and we should make sure that kids are affirmed in their identity and supported, not stigmatized and pushed back into the closet.
they want to censor things that are not a part of their viewpoint. It's not fair for public school students to then be limited to learn what only some people approve. And even our book publishers of our textbooks are starting to pull back. They're starting to censor what they write. And so it's seeping in not just into our books that kids read by choice, but into our textbooks too.
It's so important that we tell these stories. And I expressed concern that this type of bill would hinder our ability to teach even something as basic as LGBTQ plus history.
While Law HB 1557 seems to be contained to schools, the law has influenced many other detrimental movements, even a book ban here in Florida.
The book banning legislation was a separate but similar bill, and it ties into the same anti-LGBTQ plus, anti-diversity agenda, because essentially it gives access, even to people who don't live in Florida, to dictate what books are permissible in a school library. And then Department of Education expanded the policy to go into classroom libraries, which essentially is going to eliminate classroom libraries because teachers who are not going to be paid more have to then be censored and manage something in their classroom, again, purely because of a homophobic and anti-diversity agenda.
When we have parents who come to the school board or ones who email us or call us, they're mainly complaining about a book that they heard was in the library, even if no one had ever checked it out. So they're coming to our school board and they have a list of books that they want pulled. And a lot of them, whether they're appropriate or not, a lot of them are of LGBTQ topics.
There's hundreds of titles that have been banned, and a lot of them are being approached by people who haven't even read the books. They don't know what's in them. They just follow a list of conservative groups, and they go in, they submit forms, and some schools pull the books automatically from shelves, others don't. So it's an ongoing battle.
So if it were up to me, there would be no debate at all. School is a safe haven and a resource for our rising generation. Silencing students would mean the jeopardization of our future. Therefore, the first thing I would change